One operating system costs $350,000 to install. Another one is completely free. And one of them is running your PlayStation right now. Here's every OS explained. There are 9 operating systems worth knowing. Most people use one. Most people don't understand it. Let's fix that in 8 minutes. Windows, created by Microsoft in 1985. Originally just a pretty face on top of MS-DOS, like putting a suit on a skeleton and calling it a CEO. Over time, it became a real OS. Windows 95, XP, Windows 7, Windows 10, Windows 11. Each version promised to be the last one you'd ever need to complain about. None delivered. Windows runs on virtually any PC hardware on Earth. Gaming rigs, office computers, cheap laptops, doesn't matter. That flexibility is exactly what made it the most used OS in history. But Windows has problems, serious ones. The older your hardware, the slower Windows feels. Because every new version demands more RAM, more storage, more CPU. Your old laptop didn't get weaker, Windows got greedier. Then there are the updates. Forced, frequent, completely unconcerned with your schedule. Working on updates, 4% complete, don't turn off your computer. You've seen this screen. You've suffered this screen. Security is another issue. Windows is the biggest OS target for viruses and malware on the planet, simply because it's everywhere. Being popular has consequences. And then there's the blue screen of death. Existed since Windows 1.0, still exists in Windows 11. Some traditions are worth keeping. This is not one of them. But here we are. Mac OS. Apple released it in 2001, exclusive to Apple hardware only. MacBooks, iMacs, that's it. No installing it on a random PC. Apple controls everything. And that control is actually the point. Because Apple builds both the hardware and software together, Mac OS is extraordinarily stable. No random driver conflicts, no mysterious slowdowns. It just works annoyingly well. Creative professionals love Mac OS. Video editors, graphic designers, musicians, Final Cut Pro, Logic Pro, GarageBand, tools built specifically for Mac that have no real Windows equivalent. If you own an iPhone, Mac OS becomes even more useful. Messages, calls, files, everything syncs instantly between your Mac and your phone. The ecosystem is genuinely well-designed. Apple knows this and charges accordingly. The downsides are real, though. Mac OS only runs on Apple hardware. Apple hardware is expensive. A MacBook starts at $999. A comparable Windows laptop exists for $400. You're paying for the ecosystem. Whether it's worth it depends entirely on your wallet. Gaming on Mac OS is almost a joke. No DirectX support, limited GPU options. Most AAA games don't even get a Mac version. If gaming matters to you, Mac OS is not your OS. Linux. Created in 1991 by a Finnish engineer named Linus Torvalds, who simply wanted a free OS, so he built one. From scratch, alone, in his bedroom, then gave it away for free. Linux isn't one OS. It's a family of operating systems called distributions, or distros. Ubuntu for everyday users, Fedora for developers, Debian for servers. There are hundreds of versions, all free, all open source. Linux runs on almost anything. Old computers, new servers, supercomputers. Google, Facebook, and NASA all run their servers on Linux. Not Windows, not Mac, Linux. The free OS built by one guy in 1991. The catch, Linux is not beginner-friendly at all. Many distros rely heavily on text commands instead of clicking menus. Want to install an app? Type a command. Want to change a setting? Type a different command. It's powerful and completely unforgiving. Most mainstream apps and games are built for Windows or Mac, not Linux. So Linux users spend a surprising amount of time finding workarounds. Linux is for people who enjoy the journey. If you want to just use a computer, stay away. Chrome OS. Google built it. Released in 2011. Runs on Chromebooks. Affordable, fast, lightweight laptops that boot up in seconds. The whole idea is simple. What if the browser was the entire computer? Chrome OS stores almost everything in the cloud. Your files, your apps, your work, all on Google servers, not on your device. This makes Chromebooks incredibly fast and nearly impossible to break with a virus. Updates happen automatically in the background. No working on updates screen. No forced restarts at midnight. Chrome OS updates while you're using it, and you never notice. Windows engineers have reportedly seen this and wept. But Chrome OS has a fatal weakness. No internet, no computer. Offline mode exists, but it's limited. Try to edit a video, run Photoshop, or play a game without internet on a Chromebook. You cannot. It is not possible. That's the trade-off. Android, the world's most popular mobile OS, used by Samsung, Xiaomi, OnePlus, and dozens of other brands. Over 3 billion active devices worldwide. It runs on more hardware than any other OS in history. Android's biggest strength is customization. Change your launcher, swap your keyboard, install apps from outside the official store. Change literally anything about how your phone looks and works. iOS users are not allowed to do any of this. The Google Play Store has over 3 million apps. Budget phones, mid-range phones, flagship phones. Android runs on all of them. You can get a capable Android phone for $150 or spend $1,400 on a Samsung Galaxy. The choice is yours. But Android has real problems. Not every device gets regular software updates. Some manufacturers abandon their phones after 1 year. Your phone still works, but it's running outdated software with known security holes. That's a real problem. Bloatware is another issue. Manufacturers pre-install apps you didn't ask for and can't remove. A Samsung phone comes with Samsung apps, Microsoft apps, and carrier apps all preloaded. You didn't want them. You can't delete them. Welcome to Android. iOS, Apple's mobile OS, powers every iPhone and iPad ever made. Completely closed, completely controlled, and somehow completely dominant in the US market. Over 57% of Americans use an iPhone. That number keeps growing. iOS is famous for long-term support. Apple supports iPhones for 6 or 7 years with software updates. An iPhone from 2018 still gets the latest iOS today. Android phones from 2018 stopped getting updates in 2020. That difference matters. The App Store is tightly controlled. Every app gets reviewed before it's allowed in. This means fewer apps than Android, but significantly fewer malicious ones. iOS has never had a major malware outbreak. Android has had several. The Apple ecosystem is genuinely impressive. iPhone, iPad, MacBook, Apple Watch, all connected seamlessly. AirDrop, handoff, universal clipboard, it all just works together. Android and Windows have tried to replicate this. They haven't managed it yet. iOS downsides are real and specific. No expandable storage, no headphone jack since 2016, can't install apps from outside the App Store, can't customize the home screen freely. Apple decides what you can do with your own phone. That bothers some people enormously. Unix. Now we leave consumer territory entirely. Unix was built in the late 1960s at Bell Labs. Designed for servers, high-end computing, and multi-user environments. Regular people have never used it and never will. Unix handles massive workloads without crashing. Banking systems run on Unix. Scientific research facilities run on Unix. The National Weather Service uses Unix to process meteorological data for forecasting. The systems predicting tomorrow's weather are running software from the 1960s. Somehow that's not alarming to anyone. Unix costs $1,407 per user to install. If your company has 250 employees, that's $350,000 just for the operating system. Before hardware, before software, before anything else. Enterprise computing is a different world. BSD, Berkeley Software Distribution. Born from Unix at UC Berkeley in the 1970s. Free, open source, extremely powerful. Used by tech experts for servers, networking, and embedded systems. Not for normal humans. Here's what runs on BSD that you definitely use. PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5. Both run on FreeBSD, a BSD variant. Sony chose BSD over Windows and Linux for their gaming consoles. Every time you play PS5, you're running a Unix descendant from 1970. Netflix's entire content delivery network runs on BSD. When you stream a movie, that data travels through BSD servers before it reaches your screen. The OS powering your entertainment is one most people have never heard of. Network firewalls like pfSense and OpenSense are also BSD-based. The device protecting your home or office network from attackers, probably running BSD. Silent, invisible, essential. Sound familiar? Same story as Linux servers. So let's compare them all directly. Windows, maximum compatibility, maximum headaches. Mac OS, maximum stability, maximum price. Linux, maximum power, maximum learning curve. Chrome OS, maximum simplicity, maximum internet dependency. Android, maximum choice, minimum consistency. iOS, maximum polish, minimum freedom. Unix, maximum reliability, maximum cost. BSD, maximum efficiency, used by zero normal humans intentionally. Which one should you actually use? If you game, Windows. If you create professionally, Mac OS. If you're technical and love control, Linux. If you just browse and email, Chrome OS. If you want a phone with freedom, Android. If you want a phone that just works for years, iOS. If you run a bank or a weather service, Unix. If you're building a PlayStation, apparently BSD. The real question isn't which OS is best. It's which OS is best for what you actually do. A hammer isn't better than a screwdriver. They're different tools for different jobs. OS choice works the same way. Most people will never switch. Windows users stay on Windows. iPhone users stay on iPhone. Linux users tell you about Linux constantly and never stop. That last one is not a stereotype. That is documented behavior. Now you know what every operating system actually does and who it's actually for. If this helped, subscribe. Next video covers every Android version ever made and what actually changed between them.